Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the PSS Insights podcast. Today, I'm happy to welcome my guest speaker, Mr. Naveen Pandey, who is currently the Chief Executive Officer with Unibic Foods. Just a quick introduction to Naveen. Naveen has had an illustrious career in the broader FMCG space, having built his way up from companies like Asian Paints, PepsiCo, Marico, and now, of course, with Unibic. I wanted your thought on, a segment which is getting a lot of sort of media attention, or, it's always in the news, which is your quick commerce, last mile. Today, I was talking to a couple of CEOs from consumer brands. They are betting heavily on this segment. And with the rise of the Zomatos and, the Zeptos of the world, is this a space which will, see a larger chunk of the pie in terms of, last mile distribution? Will it take the place of general trade or will it eat into the market share of general trade for brands in general? And are there any specific kinds of categories or, where this may have more of an impact? Your thoughts on this?
So the way I look at it is, see, when you look at from a consumer shopping basket perspectives, you can broadly define shopping experiences into, two very disparate baskets and maybe some hybrid in between. So one clear behavior is basically what is called as a monthly basket shopping. Typically very, very accentuated in a US kind of a format, wherein you'll see, people driving in with their trucks and, filling out 2 or 3 trolleys of, baskets, and then coming back stuff and then stocking a pantry room with the stuff. For us, we don't have that level of evolution, but possibly what you could see is a behavior in a Reliance Hyper or a DMart or some of the, individually owned large superstores in respective cities. You will see people coming in with a list, for their shopping for the month, spending substantial time, maybe an hour or more in the store, picking up a wide assortment and carrying back home. And then there is what I call is, typically a convenience, which might reflect in various formats. It might be a 7-Eleven in, let's say, in Asia, or it might be, a mom and pop, convenience store, wherein, you're backing back from office, or you're walking back, or you're in a downtown street, and you want to pick up some items. You want to grab something to eat, you want to grab something to drink, you want, some top up, maybe, rice to cook, whatever. And, essentially these are available in smaller sizes, smaller format, something which you need more here and now. Now, whether you look at modern trade stores, whether you look at general trade stores, whether you look at, e-commerce delivery, ultimately it will get possibly broken down into some of this kind of behavior. And possibly what I said, these are the two extremes, and maybe there is something in between. So where the quick com lies is convenience. And, in convenience, you typically have a model which is a high street model, which means that you have a small format store, but in a relatively more expensive neighborhood or a higher rental area, which allows a lot of people to pick up stuff when you are basically walking in, walking through. And you will see convenience as a format is also very popular in countries where there is more walking. So if you typically look at, you'll find it more relevant in a Southeast Asia than in the US, where everybody is basically driving. And in India, what I'll say is that your 10-minute delivery is the substitute for convenience. It's driving in that culture. And for us, unlike many of the Western world, the trade-off stage is that today high street retail and manpower, if you were to look at both cost elements, manpower is not multiple times more expensive as it in the Western world. And hence deliveries and convenience deliveries at the drop sizes which we are still viable in India, and the viability of quick commerce in India would be at much lower revenues as compared to the rest of the world. And that's a unique opportunity for possibly quick com in India, which does not exist, and that's primarily minimum wage led. Minimum wages in India are much lower, and hence you can afford to deliver a lower dollar value, of store in 10 minutes, 15 minutes as a drop size. And I guess that would see a certain evolution. And what it is seeing today is it is seeing that uh, if you were to look at e-com as a delivery format, has got this advantage which modern trade has not been able to get. So modern trade has not been able to do convenience over the last whatever couple of decades of their existence in the country, not to this extent. And I think that model is still being perfected, and it needs certain societal demographic changes, behavior changes in people for that format to become very kind of popular. But this is something which basically is working out in an equation much better as compared to the rest of the world, and emerging here. So in short, just trying to justify why do I believe that this space is here to stay, and I think this space is here to grow. Now, how big, how fast, how soon, I guess won't want to get into it, but I think again, as I said, I believe in directions, and the direction is clear. I think e-commerce would be a very relevant channel for India, and that is primarily because there is a very imminent trade-off, on wages. Until wages really become much higher than what they are today, I see e-commerce to have an advantage in India as compared to multiple other places in the world. So yes, it's going to be a very relevant channel, and also for people who are wanting to do very selective selling, sharpshooting certain kind of target goods, segments, consumer. It's a very apt channel for that as well, because it allows you to really narrow down. And this level of sharpshooting was never ever possible before in retail, but now it is.